Hi, second graders. So Monday we talked about description structure. Tuesday we talked about sequence structure. Today we're going to talk about compare and contrast. Now, I know that we've done a lot of comparing and contrasting in our classes this year. So you know that when you compare or contrast, you're telling me how things are alike and how they are different. Nonfiction textbooks can also be written in a way that compares and contrasts, tells how things are the same and how they're different all the way through the book. So you might see words like similar to, or different, or both, or also, however. The graphic organizer that you might use are those two circles that meet. And remember, on one side, it's about one of the things they're talking about. On the other side is another thing they're talking about. And in the middle, where they meet, is what they have in common. Okay? So comparing and contrasting is what we're going to talk about today. Now, I want to show you a couple of books. First of all, it says, this book is How Do Animals Sleep? Okay? How do animals sleep? And look at that sweet picture. I love it. I love it. This whole book talks about different animals. It starts with the lion and the king of the jungle, and then all the way through it talks about every kind of animal that almost you could think of, and the different ways that they sleep. And all the way through, they are comparing and contrasting. Maybe some hibernate, some do not. Some sleep in trees, some do not. Polar bears, some have to stay cool, some have to stay warm, right? All the way through this book, it's all about different animals and how they sleep. Some sleep standing up, some lay down when they sleep. So the whole book is comparing and contrasting how animals sleep in different ways, okay? So that is one example, how do animals sleep? Another book I want to show you that compares and contrasts is this book is called Now We Live in the USA. And the whole story is about comparing these four kiddos and where they came from. They came from all over the United States. Here's a picture of them. So they came, not from the United States, all over the world, and they came together and live in San Antonio, Texas. Now the whole book is comparing and contrasting. So they start out showing where they all are from, and then throughout the book, each one of the kids compares and contrasts. They tell about their city, and then they talk about how it's different from the student before. And each one of them, all the way through, here's Guillermo, right? And all the way through, he talks about he is from Mexico and how his life in Mexico is different than what it is in the United States right now. So each of the kids goes through and they are comparing and contrasting their life in their country originally and what it's like in the United States, and specifically in San Antonio, Texas. So the whole book is comparing and contrasting. So today, friends, as you read, I want you to be aware of that same thing. I want you to look and see, is your book one that compares and contrasts things so that you can see how something is the same as something else and then how it is different than something else, okay? Also, there's a graphic organizer attached again today, so you can use that to help you try to figure out what the structure of your reading is today. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're being great detectives with text structure.